Hi all, good evening. My name is Robin. I'm a German language trainer with the Envertiz Academy. Today we will discuss a topic, learn German easily, what you should know. We'll pause some seconds so that the others also can join. Now, why should you learn German and why should you set Germany as your next career or academic destination? Now, as we all know, plenty of people are learning German nowadays. What is the significance of this language and the country as a whole? Now, German is a primary language spoken in Germany, making it very essential for the daily life, the education, and the social interaction with the general population. Now, is German spoken only in Germany? No. It is spoken across about 5 territories in Europe, particularly Austria, Germany, Liechtenstein, Luxembourg, and Switzerland. There are certain areas in Italy also that speak German, for example, the South Tyrol region. If we look at the map of the German-speaking nations, we can see that Austria speaks the most German with 98% of the population speaking German, and Germany comes second with about 95%, and Liechtenstein with about 92%, Luxembourg with 78%, Switzerland with 60%, and Belgium with about 1% of the population speaking German. Now, why Germany? Now, let's focus on the education part. Now, one of the major reasons why people choose Germany is because it's a stable employment market. It's a highly production-oriented country with major emphasis on cars and other mechanical engineering products. Now, the attractive career opportunities pull plenty of qualified professionals from all across the world to Germany. Now, undergraduate education in Germany. Majority of the undergraduate courses in a German universities are still taught in German. Now, let's look at the post-graduation in Germany. Most of the postgraduate courses in German universities are also taught in German, but nowadays there are a lot more options for everybody from all across the planet to learn in English as well. This is particularly beneficial for international students looking at a splendid career in Germany. Now, the major attractive factor about German universities is the tuition fee. Most of the public universities offer free tuition fee, even for international students. So that's the highlight. Now, let's look at the levels of German. So let's talk about the first 4 levels. Most people learn the first 4 levels, either of the first 4 levels. Now, A1 will be the beginner level, A2 will be the elementary level. Now, B1 and B2 will be the intermediate levels, the lower and the upper levels respectively. Now, what are these levels? Now, how many levels do we have here? Like every European language, you have 6 levels. This is demarcated by the CEFR, that is a common European framework of reference for languages. So it starts from A1 to C2, depending on the proficiency level. So A1 and A2 will be the basic user, B1 and B2 will be the intermediate or independent user, and C1 and C2 will be the independent or mastery level proficiency. We will talk about each level independently after the break. Now, let's look at all these levels in a quick shot. Now, in A1 level, you'll be understanding simple conversations like introducing oneself, one's partner in the school, college, or at the workplace, and general conversations in the supermarkets or in the general public areas. A2 will be a bit more complex. You'll be describing your routine tasks. You can talk about a bit about your past, a bit about your future also. Now, B1, you'll be going a bit more complex. Now, in B1 level, you can present small topics like 3 to 4 minute topics. You can plan something together. Planning happens from A1 level, of course, but you'll plan more complex events and functions. You can talk about your ambitions, dreams, etc. Now in B2, you are proceeding further. You can actually express your opinions. You can express counter arguments. You can hold discussions, more debates, etc. And you can understand lengthy texts. You can write lengthy texts as well. Now in C1 level, you're going into the master level. You're beginning the master level. Now you are starting to speak effortlessly and fluently and almost like a native German speaker. Now here, the texts are too big and you'll be understanding the entire movies, full-length songs, documentaries, etc. C2 will be, of course, the master level, and you can literally or practically express everything that comes to your mind. You can make sense of everything that you hear, listen, and you can understand full-bodied texts. Now, let's look at certain interesting facts about the German-speaking countries. We have a term for the German-speaking countries. It's called DACH. Yeah, it's a collective term for Germany, Switzerland, and Austria. The major attractive factor about Germany will be the German Autobahn. The Autobahn is a speed limit, a highway without any speed limits. There are practically very less number of such highways around the planet. Previously, they literally had no rules at all, but nowadays, plenty of people come across from all across the world and cause a lot of accidents. So Germans, being Germans and adhering to rules and regulations, have set up some rules nowadays. Now, let's look at what Germans eat and drink. Now, Germans are a predominantly non-vegetarian country, so pork, beef, and all other meats are particularly favorite among the masses, and processed meats have their own market. And Germany has probably the most number of sausages on the planet. And at 4 p.m. every day, every German will definitely have coffee and cake. So that's a ritual. So they call it Kaffee und Kuchen. So also they have plenty of bread varieties. For example, pretzels, brown bread, rye bread, you name it, they have it. And also cake varieties. Germans particularly have an affinity for apples. So most of their cuisine have some sort of an apple dish. So let's look at the culture, a bit into the history. Now, Germany is known for the castles all around the country. Now, when we talk about castles, they have more than 25,000 castles all around the country. So Germany was a kingdom in the past, so they have contributed immensely to the culture of Europe. So definitely they have plenty of castles with its own history. Some of them looks right out of a fairy tale. And just like the Taj Mahal is for India, the little symbols of Germany are its own castles. Now, let's look at the most interesting part here, beer. Now, beer is not a drink in Germany. You can literally call it a food item. They don't even consider it as an alcoholic beverage, particularly in the region of Bavaria, southern Germany. So they have cooked up something to honor beer. This is a one-of-a-kind festival in the world. It's called Oktoberfest. Although it's called Oktoberfest, they start from September. And it holds millions of enthusiasts from all across the world. So this is particularly famous in Munich, but it's nowadays famous all across Germany and even in the Middle East, actually. Some people celebrate that. And it is the largest beer festival on the planet. And you can enjoy the Bavarian beer, food, culture, and their hospitality. The origin of the Christmas tree. Now, Germany, being a predominantly Christian country, has its own major Christian celebrations. Easter and Christmas are celebrated with huge enthusiasm all across the country. Now, Christmas tree is believed to have been discovered, or the tradition has been started in Germany as early as 16th century. Now, along with the Christmas tree, they have particular Christmas markets. Now, Weihnachten is the name of Christmas in Germany. Weihnachtsmarkt are the Christmas markets all across Germany. And Germany has thousands of them during this time. The most important product that they sell during this time in this market is Glühwein, that is mulled wine. It's a kind of spiced wine or homemade wine, which is very, very famous all across the country. Now, and Lebkuchen, that's gingerbread. It's a variety of gingerbread. And of course, you can enjoy ice skating, live music, folk arts, and other holiday activities. Now, let's look at certain fascinating facts about the German language. Now, the number of alphabets in German are 26 plus 4, I would say. 26 will be the same as English, but the pronunciations are entirely different, plus 3 alphabets which are variants of vowels, plus an additional alphabet which only German has, that is S-set. German and English, of course, share 60% of the vocabulary. The most toughest factor I would call about German are the genders. Every noun in German has its own article. It's either masculine, feminine, or neuter. This makes German pretty hard to learn. You have to memorize all these genders so that you can conjugate verbs, and you even have to decline, or you have to add endings to the adjectives. So that makes German pretty tough. And Germans love clubbing their words. Germans will not settle for small words. They love their big words. For example, let me catch my breath here. The longest German word with 63 alphabets is pronounced, give me a second, Rindfleisch Etikettierungs-Überwachungs-Aufgabenübertragungsgesetz. That took me some time. That'll take you maybe longer, depending on your proficiency. Okay. What does this word mean? This word means it's a law regulating the labeling of beef. So, pretty huge words. Now, let's look at some other fun facts about German. Now, it's not a recently developed language. It's an old language. It's about 1,500 years old. And the origin of the language dates back to about 7th century AD. And the linguistics called the earliest version of German the Old High German. It's quite common across Western, Central, and Eastern Europe from the 19th century. It used to be a language of the elites or the town people throughout most of Europe. Now, fact number 2. There are more German language speakers than we probably might think. Let's take it. 100 million people speak German as their first language. About 10 to 25 million speak it as a second language, and about 75 million people take it as a foreign language all across the world. So that brings the number of German speakers to about 200 million globally. If you take it, for example, Namibia, it's an African country, but it used to be a German colony in the past. They have German as their second language. So German has speakers even outside the continent. And yes, German is one of the most widely spoken tongues in European Union and the second biggest language in terms of overall numbers of speakers in Europe. There are millions of people who learn German. Now, the enthusiasm to learn language has spiked up quite recently, and there are more than 15 million people learning German all across the world. If you take India, India is one of the largest learners of German nowadays, and if you take even the smallest states like Kerala, we have 60,000 people learning German at any given point of time. These are based on certain various sources which we have collected. So this makes German the 5th most popular language among language learners after English, Chinese, Spanish, and French. There are too many German words to learn. Now, this is a language which can boast of their own vocabulary, an entire vocabulary. Now, according to the Deutsch Perfect, there were only 30,000 German words back in about the 9th century, but now there are more than 15 million words and hundreds are created on a daily basis. For example, Germans recently being adapted to the internet has taken and named a lot of internet-based verbs and nouns also. Now, Hochdeutsch has about 20 siblings. Hochdeutsch is the language which we spoke some time back. It's the High German, the original form. Now, there are certain dialects or dialects. Dialect is a German word. Dialect would be the English word. All across Germany. As of now, we estimate about 20 dialects of Germany, each having its own phonetics, vocabulary, and grammatical characteristics. Now, homonyms. What are homonyms? Homonyms are words with the same spellings and the pronunciation, but having totally different meanings. For example, here, I'll take the word say. Now, say has two possible articles here. It can be either der See or die See. Der See would be a lake, die See would be the sea. Another word which we can look at here is Band. Now, der Band means a book volume. Die Band will mean a music band, and das Band means a ribbon or tape. Totally different. Same word, three different meanings and three different genders. Now, although the articles are pretty tough to learn, we can be sure that most nouns in German have feminine articles, or they belong to the feminine gender. Now, if you do not know what article to use, the best guess would be the feminine gender. About 46% of all the German nouns would be feminine, about 34 would be masculine, and 20 would be neutral. Now, which are the languages or the proficiency exams which we can look at if you're learning German and aim to get certified? As of now, we can tell you that there are about 6 tests which are internationally acclaimed and recognized. One is the USD, that is the Österreichische Sprachdiplom, that's the Austrian certificate. The Test DAF, the Goethe-Zertifikat, the ECL, that's the European Council of Languages, the TELC, and the DSH or DSH. We'll break now, and we'll continue with the explanation towards different levels after this break. Hello everyone, welcome back. So we'll start from where we have left off. So let's proceed to looking into each level in depth and in detail. Now the first level that every beginner will be attending will be the A1. Now, what would you learn in an A1 level German course? Now, the foremost important thing is to introduce yourself. So you learn to introduce yourself, and also you'll be learning to introduce your partner, your colleague, or your somebody who will be doing a particular course with you. You'll start with alphabets, pronunciations, and certain combinations. And these are very important because German alphabets are not pronounced the same way as English alphabets. They have their own differences. And the combinations also are totally different from English. And counting numbers, spelling words, and counting out or spelling out your mobile numbers, PIN codes, all these will be taught in the first level. You'll start beginning forming sentences, simple sentences. Now, short conversations at work or at school, etc. Shopping at a supermarket or a shop. That's very important because once you land in Germany, as soon as you land in Germany, the first thing you'll do is probably shop for something, get some grocery, get some supplies. So, supermarket will be a daily life routine. So, you have to learn how to conversate there, asking for prices, maybe negotiating, checking for offers, etc. Route descriptions and directions. Now, you'll be a stranger once you land there. So obviously you'll need directions. You have to check with people where to or how to get to a particular place. And after some time when you're a master, actually, you have to tell people how to get to a particular place. So route descriptions and directions. Now, forming W questions: what, when, why, where, etc. And yes or no questions, and answers, and obviously requests. Requests are very important because being polite is a daily routine or a ritual in Germany actually. Germans are known for two things in particular: punctuality and politeness. So booking appointments now, very crucial or very important step in learning this language. Germans are known for their bureaucracy and their office work and the government procedures, sometimes lengthy and boring. Now, if you want to book an appointment with a doctor, if you want to register yourself in the city, if you have to register yourself with the government offices or for most other purposes, you have to write emails or send letters. You have to fix an appointment. You have to maybe delay it, prepone it, postpone it, many things. So for each and everything, you need some formal letters or emails. Short, formal, and informal SMS, emails, and letters. Not only the government requires messages or emails and SMSs, your friends do require that. So informal and formal will be taught. The smallest ones in the A1. Now proceeding to A2, what do we learn there? Now we'll start planning events. Now in Germany, you will be making friends, you'll be making acquaintances. So they'll have birthdays, weddings, anniversaries, course endings, etc. So you will learn to plan how these events are planned, and the places, the things that you should get, the date and the time. So fixing an appointment. The daily routine description. What do you do on a daily basis? What do you do? I mean, what did you do the last weekend? What are you going to do the next weekend? Things like that. Understanding longer texts, blogs, and articles, like newspaper articles and some minor blogs and texts. Suggestions and polite conversations. So you learn to make suggestions regarding certain appointment fixings or other scenarios in the daily life. Short presentations. So here you'll learn to critically analyze certain things based on their merits and demerits. So you'll be able to make your opinion, draft your opinions regarding that. Interview and telephone conversation, very important. You'll be getting plenty of telephone conversations out there. So you'll be listening to television or radio interviews, and they'll be conducting interviews on a daily basis regarding all general topics about life, the society, culture, climate, environment, etc., pollution, all those sort of things. And telephone conversation, both formal and informal. School system in Germany. This is a very distinct topic. Now, the school system in Germany is unlike most places on the planet. So they have multiple exit and re-entry points, if one can say that. Now, sounds strange and tough to most of us, but it's very beneficial to the students, the learners, in terms of career opportunities, making them skill ready and employment ready. Now, subordinate clauses and cases. German normally has 3 cases. In the first level, we'll be learning 3 cases. The language itself has 4 cases. The 4th one will be learned in the A2 level. And simple past and those sort of things. Subordinate clauses. Certain clauses require a main clause and a supporting clause. How do you club these? How do you combine this with conjunctions, etc.? So the German sentence structure is rigid and very efficiently and strictly followed by rules. So if you want to change anything, that should also be supported by certain rules. So grammatic is all about rules. Proceeding to the B1. Now here, you'll be writing and understanding travel plannings and such blogs. So planning bigger events and presentations on topics. Bigger events in the sense, in A2, you'll be given a particular calendar. Based on that, you can plan things. Those are simpler events. But in B1, we'll be going on a blank sheet. You'll be given vague hints about a particular event, and then you'll build up on the fixing the appointment regarding that. Now, understanding announcements. Announcements happen on a daily life, on a daily basis in German life. Now, railway announcements, bus stands, or airport announcements. So all these you need to be very able to understand those things because they have plenty of clues, times, train, bus numbers, aircraft numbers, windows, gates, etc. Expressing reasons and contradictions and 2-part connectors. Now, in English, we have learned things like not only, but also, either or, neither nor, etc. All of these exist in German language also with their set of rules. So we'll be learning all these things in the B1 level. And reasons and contradictions. If you raise an argument, you have to solidify that with reasons. And also, if somebody is raising an argument which you would wish to contradict, you have to contradict. So banking terms and conversations. You will be required to open bank accounts. So definitely how to withdraw money, how to deposit, how to make a transfer, how to take a credit or loan, etc. Government institutions and their the correspondence, offering help and issuing warnings. Now, these are suggestions and a different type of sentence formation. Songs, understanding, and one of the best methods to learn German language is by learning songs. So here in B1 level, we'll be trying to understand full-length songs and making meanings out of them. Pretty tougher grammar portions coming up here. past perfect, passive. Passive itself is a huge topic, and passive present, passive past, and passive future will be taught in B1. Negations and comparative and superlative degrees of adjectives. Now, B2. What do you learn in B2? Now, B2, most people stop their learning at B2 if they are learning with a particular objective of getting into a particular course or a job. Now, understanding and extended speeches and lectures. Now, German's being learned, people make a lot of lengthy lectures and speeches. Now, you have to understand what topic they're discussing, what are the merits, demerits, and the salient features that they're discussing. Understanding TV, news, films, and articles with social relevance. Germany is one country which makes excellent movies, documentaries, articles, and such sort. And they have some excellent news channels also, which have tons of followers all around the planet. So you need to understand the correspondence and the broadcasts in there. Now, leading discussions and expressing viewpoints. Now, here in B1 itself, you'll be leading conversations and will be presenting small topics up to about 3 to 4 minute lengths. Here, we'll be leading discussions with the other person, of expressing your opinion and sometimes making counter arguments. Now, interact with greater fluency. Now, the Aussprache or the pronunciation is very important in German language, and in B2 level, or a person who is completing B2 level is expected to communicate following all the rules, paying very much of greater emphasis to alphabet pronunciations and combinations. Writing essays and longer letters. Now here, you'll be writing lengthier texts and longer letters to different organizations or peoples. Now, listening and understanding complicated and lengthy sentences. Now, the listening part is one of the most complicated sections in every German exam, and here it gets one of the most toughest. Now, C1 and C2. Should you learn C1 and C2? Should you go for C1 and C2? Why not? Or when do you need that? Now, B2 is generally sufficient for the daily life and most jobs out there. C1. Who does C1? Now, C1 is particularly followed by academic pursuits or for professions like doctors. They mandatorily need that. And for example, if you want to teach German at a German university, you definitely need C1. And working in other fields like journalism or linguistics also will make you, need C1 or C2 as a mandate. Now, what do we do at Envertiz? Now, we have a language academy and we teach German here, yes. Now, how do we teach it? Now, we'll start with the basics like the alphabets, numbers, greetings, and so on. And to make you sound more like the natives, we emphasis particularly on the pronunciation part, the combinations, the diphthongs, etc., the alphabets. We regularly conduct role plays, for example, a scenario in a supermarket where you are a salesperson and the other person is a customer, and the conversations. Or you're a bank clerk, the other is a customer, etc. Or between two friends. And answering question-answer sessions, forming questions and answering them, forming polite requests, etc. And ensure routine tests to assess your language. Now, we normally conduct tests after the end of every chapter for grammatic and also for the other aspects of the language. Now, it's very important that you attend. We particularly have an emphasis on the attendance tracking, and also that's very important to successfully complete your language pursuit. Now, let's answer certain frequently asked questions, some major concerns. Now, is German similar to English or is it more difficult than English? One can, on a layman's point of view, one can say that it's way more difficult than English with all the articles and its own set of vocabulary. And also even the adjectives needs ending. So these are very tough rules which may not exist in English. So will I be taught German in English or in my native language? Now, in the initial levels, we use a mixed language level, because we need to use English a bit, followed by German. But towards the A2 level and towards the B1 and B2 levels, we definitely have full-on conversations in German only, even while explaining grammatic topics. Are there several levels, and do I have to clear all levels if you have to study or work in Germany? Now, The level that you choose depending on your choice of course or employment in Germany. Certain courses mandate that you need a B2, like nursing. For C1, C1 is required for doctors, etc., or linguistics. And okay, do you have to clear all levels for your particular level to be clear? No. For example, if you're applying for B2, you're not mandatorily required to clear A1 and A2. You can directly apply for B2 for Goethe certificate. Now, do I have to attend exams to prove that I know German? For visa processing for certain universities and certain jobs, yes, you might have to. And also, it's a very useful skill. So we would highly recommend getting certified by an internationally certified exam. There are certain jobs and certain universities that allow you even without certification and with just a course completion certificate. But these are case subjective. Do I have to pay separately for each of these exams? Yes. Each exam is conducted in a separate, different time frame with a different fee structure. A1 and A2 levels, you need to clear, for Goethe certificate, you need aggregate pass percentage of 60%. And B1 and B2 would require you to have 60% minimum for each module. There are 4 levels or 4 modules in each exam, similar to all language exams: reading, listening, writing, and speaking. Are the exams tough? Yes, they follow stringent standards, so I would call them tough. It's not easy to pass. You need meticulous preparation and punctuality and discipline to pass German exams. Will we be taught according to the requirement of the external certification? And yes, definitely. We follow the particular patterns of Goethe Centrum's Goethe certificate. So we follow their syllabus and we follow their pattern of exam. Once I pass a particular level, will I be able to converse in German fluently? Yes. You may not be able to independently communicate after A1 and A2 level, but you can still hold a small conversation on your own. But after B1 and B2, you will be able to conversate fluently and independently. Do you conduct mock tests? If yes, how often? Yes, full-length mock tests are conducted halfway through the course and, of course, at the end of the course before the final model exam or the course ending exam. Is there any age limit to do an Ausbildung in Germany? Now, this is one of the most commonly asked questions. Most Ausbildungs in Germany do not come with an age limit. This is as per our latest knowledge. So with that, we have come to the end of our session. It was a pleasure hosting this session. And if you have any further queries and concerns, please comment below or contact us in the number given or send us an email. We'll be more than glad to reach out to you. And we wish you all happy learning and have lots of fun learning the language. And as Germans say, viel Spaß beim Lernen. Thank you all. Goodbye.